Well, hello and welcome to WAM Wednesday. It's our first one in June, boy, June is just such an important month. So, welcome to June, first of all. If you weren't in for my weekly challenge, we posted it yesterday on Tuesday because we all had Memorial Day, which we could reflect and appreciate all the folks who served. But so I put it out there yesterday for you, and it was on a word that you may not have heard before. You might have been very familiar with, or some of you might have been like a throwback. Oh, I remember that word, a paradigm. So go back and check that the weekly challenge, because it really is going to kick us off, because June is just such an important month. We're heading into again the 30-day period that's going to take us to halfway through the year. So it's an important time. A lot of folks, they wait till after that and then they sit back and reflect and what. But we want to be proactive and take a look at that, because we want to head in and make the end of the first 6 months of your year really, really productive. And if it's not ramped already, get it ramped up. So take a look at that, and then we're going to, what I'm going to do for you over the next 4 sessions, because I just think June is so important, is I decided to take my half-day workshop on self-mastery and break it down into 4 parts. And so we're going to make it a 4-part series for you. WAM today, WAM next Wednesday, and then Finish Strong Friday this week, and Finish Strong Friday next week. Of course, when participants come, if you've been to the half day before, you get the 60-page ebook, and then we have worksheets. But what we're going to do, we're going to break it down into 4 sessions so that you have time for. We're not going to have time for discussions like we normally do, but we're going to have time for you to reflect, plan, and execute on each of the 4 parts. So it's going to be a pretty cool series for you, and the goal of it is master these 10 habits and be the master of your world. So you can certainly do that, and I'm going to get back to that. I know I said on Monday I might flip it around and do the series first, but you know what? It's worth the wait, and I know some of you, I've talked to some of you, I know some of you probably, maybe at this point, maybe don't have this one down yet, and you'd say, well, yeah, I'll just watch it. I'll do my weekly accountability later. I'll get to that part. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to tease you a little bit, and we're going to pop up the weekly accountability meeting first. We want to get through this because I just want to make sure it gets done for you. I know maybe you're like, well, you don't really trust me. Well, no, I don't. So here we go. We go with our weekly accountability, and then we'll get through this. Make sure that's done for you, and then get right back to self-mastery. All right, well, I'm gonna break out of here real quick for you. Gonna hide this stop sharing thing, and I'm gonna make this bigger for you so that you can see it, and we'll get through it real quick. All right, well, first thing you want to do every week again is a percentage of key actions that you executed last week. And again, if you don't have this worksheet, just reach out to me. I can get you a copy of it on PDF, but the best place to get it is simply just to go ahead and get you a Phoenix Journal, because this is what we do every week in our 12-week year with the Phoenix Journal. So if you're in our group, you're used to doing this. But if you're new to us, this is what we use for our weekly sessions. But you want to take your percentage of key actions that you executed last week, and again, success in most areas is not going to happen unless you have measurement. And measurement is really nothing but math. So we want to take the percentage of the things that you really needed to do to achieve your goals over this last week, and what percentage of those key actions, the things that really, really were an important part of those goals, that you get done. And let's pop that out there, because again, when we do our quarterly and our 6-month reviews, we want to go back and say, make sure those percentages were good, and then we're going to go back in and again see what victories you were proud of from the last week. Obviously, some of the things were attached to your goals. Some of them weren't. So what victories from the past week are you proud of? For me, my goal certainly wasn't to go out and clean the garage and this, that, and the other. But Jan got kind of inspired. When Jan's inspired, I'm more inspired, and out there and did some good work and got some things done. It wasn't part of my my goals or my key actions for the week, but I'm certainly proud that we did it. We had some good fun, some good time. And if you know anything about us, we've got just tons of family history, and that's what we're going through all that kind of stuff. And that's why I guess it takes so long to get through some of these boxes. We've only been here in this house 17 years, but we got boxes that we haven't opened since we moved still. But anyway, that's one of my victories. But and the point is, it doesn't have to be necessarily part of your goal. Just what is something that you've done, and then go back and look at what are some things that you need to improve upon that you didn't get done last week, or maybe something that you did do but you could have done a little bit better. So go back and always review that, but give yourself credit and happiness for that victories, and let's get back and don't be super critical on yourself. Don't get your old self-image down in the dumps, but what can I do better? You always want to look at what you can do better. Don't look at a critique as negative. Always look at critiques as positive, because that's what they're meant to be. And then obviously, what am I most grateful for? And of course, we had an entire 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend, to ponder these things, and certainly the folks who have served and helped not only create but maintain our freedom, really a huge part of what I'm most grateful for this week. And so thank you for your past and your current service, for all those that are still in the military. But what are you grateful for? Just get that in there, because gratitude is really going to keep you from getting into those pity parties of, oh my, woe is me, right? So look at all the great things that you're grateful for in your life. Like I said, usually maybe there's some common denominators in your life. You can always put them on there, but maybe just reach out and find some new things. But always got to have your gratitudes, and you should be doing these daily, as we always talk about. And then what will you do to live the next week to your fullest? Look at your 4 areas: relationships, recreation, personal health, and work. Now, you might have wore yourself out on recreation over the weekend, but hopefully there's still a few things you can do. But again, try and tie these things in. Try it. It's just kind of our attempt at just trying to keep that life balance, and that just kind of keep you well rounded, so that you don't get off on just totally being lopsided in your life and in your goals. So look at these things and make sure that you kind of have something going on in each one of these areas, and that'll really try and help you keep some life balance going for yourself. And then look at your goals for the week. What are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, however many you want. You can turn one of these into maybe a wish list if you want to, but you at least want to have 1 or 2 good goals. I wouldn't really necessarily maybe do 4. You might get stressed out a little bit, but they're up here for you. So put what those are for this week. And of course, remember, they got to be specific, actionable, and measurable. We want smart goals. Don't want wishes. We want goals. So get them out there and get your key actions noted on those. And then again, what are you looking for most this week? Let's pop that in there. And then if you could accomplish one thing this week, what would it be? And go back and look at this every single day when you're doing your daily planning, and then make sure that you've got these things. You reflect on what you did yesterday. Again, plan and execute for tomorrow. And then you've got a little action habit tracker, and we're going to be talking about a lot about this over the next 4 sessions with our self-mastery workshop. But you always want to note down some actions and habits that you really need to either modify, change, get rid of, start, whatever it is, what the aim for those are on your week. In other words, how many times a week are you going to do that? And then sometimes it might be twice a day, whatever it is, but put that down there, and then check them off as you go through. And then if you accomplished your aim, give you a big old check mark on the right, and that will be one of our successes and our victories that we can talk about next week. All right. Well, that wasn't too painful, was it? We got you through it. But again, this is just really just the best way I know how, in a little 2-page PDF to make this thing happen for yourself. But reach out to me, like I said, if you don't have it. But I really prefer you just go ahead and hop in the 12-week year with us, get the Phoenix Journal rolling, and let's get this thing going in your life. All right. Well, we're going to back out of this now. We're going to get into our 4-part series, Self-Mastery. Master these 10 habits and be the master of your world. Now, I love this quote by Lao Tzu, and it's in my Phoenix Journal. Mastering others is strength, but mastering yourself is true power. And that is so true. I mean, our biggest adversary most of the time are not others. But if they are, we can kind of bull our way through those, right? But our true adversary is really ourself. And until we master ourself, we are not going to have true power. All right, well, let's get through this. Let's start with somebody that we all know and love here, Jim Rohn. A lot of you probably know the first part of this quote. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And you probably heard that, and oh yeah, I remember that quote. But the quote goes on to say, and this is what you don't see a lot of times, is there's a semicolon after that every day, and it says, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. So success is some simple disciplines, and failure are a few errors in judgment that you repeat every day. But the bottom line is, it is the accumulated weight of our disciplines and our judgments that lead us to either fortunes or failure. Now, when we go back to our WAM, that's our key actions, right? That key action percentage, that is the accumulated weight weekly of our disciplines, of our judgments, our disciplines and our judgments. So that's why we do that every week. But if you're like most success-oriented people, you dream of gaining control over your life. That's part of why we do this. Part of our life purpose. You want to have that control, and that might be part of what we're talking about with our paradigms and our organizational structures and things. Is one of your goals just might be that you want to gain control over your life. And a lot of it's financial, some of it's health-wise, right? But whatever it is, most success-oriented people have something to do with controlling some portion of their life, if not the entire thing, right? And that would be the ultimate accomplishment for many. But habits are an important part of the process. And so we're really going to get into habits big time, because that's really what self-mastery is all about. Because like Jim Rohn says, successes and failures are primarily the end results of habits. Because those habits are either going to be disciplines or they're going to be judgments that were bad judgments, a few errors in judgments, right? But success and failure are primarily the end results of habits. Now let's go on to the next guy. I kind of messed it up here a little bit. You probably saw him in here before, but Napoleon Hill. Now, again, why are we going back to these folks? Well, because these are the stuff has just not changed, folks. It's part of our A to B for me strategies in our core curriculum. Is we always go back to these thought leaders of old, because again, they just created so much good stuff for people that we've all been successful doing. But Napoleon said, self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. Simply, self-discipline enables you to think first and act afterwards. And that is really the core of A to B for me. That's what that big, if you look in the corner, that big blue part of our A to B for me strategy is thoughts. That's the foundation. That is where you have to begin. You have to get your thoughts right. And then that red bar is action, and that black bar is habits. And so it's thoughts, action, and habits. And your habits are also going to determine the long-term results you achieve, because thought, action, habits, that's going to build your character, and that's going to lead you straight to your destiny. So habits are so important. It's that middle block that can, and that's most of the time, that's as far as people get. They slide back down that hill. But we got to get your thoughts right first. But the things you do repeatedly matter. And that's what habits are all about. And how you plan your day matters. And that's why we do these WAMs, because we want to make sure that you do get your days planned properly. And the only way to do that is to review them every week and make sure that we go back and say, hey, what did I do right? What did I do well? What do I need to do next week? And the way you handle stress and uncertainty matter. And that's part of this entire process. But there are many things that matter when you do them day after day over a long period of time. And that's what we're talking about doing is getting these habits rolling for yourself. So let's take a look at habits in general. And I love this stack. It just kind of shows you that we're building on things to really get our habits to help get us up that A to B from E strategy to our destiny. But why are habits important? Well, habits are the biggest cause of your success or lack of success. And we just heard that from two of the greatest thought leaders we've ever had, Jim Rohn and Napoleon Hill. And habits are vitally important, but few people recognize their importance or understand how to create or manage them. And that's really what we go a lot deep into in our course series, Deep Dive to Destiny, and then take it even further in 84 days with some of our core curriculum with a compound effect, Miracle Morning, and Atomic Habits. Because most people think of habits in a negative light. They think of negative things, like bad habits. Well, that's a bad habit you got, right? Well, drinking, drugs, gambling, overeating, that's what generally pops into the mind of most of us when we think about habits, right? But, the thing is that there are good habits and there's bad habits, and good habits mean good life, right? So when we talk about Miracle Morning, we always talk about exercising, right? We talk about meditating. It's funny, we talk about brushing your teeth and taking a shower in there. We don't necessarily talk about paying your bills on time, but these are all good things, and good habits are going to create a good life for you. So think of habits mainly as getting good habits into your life, because those who lack success, they have habits too, but they contribute to their lack instead of their gain of success. And of course, what are we talking about? Well, one of the biggest ones is procrastination. Someday I'm going to do that. I know I need to do it, and I'm going to do that next. And then what gets in the way? Oh, bing. Oh, so I got somebody's here on Facebook wanting to see me, So you spend all the afternoon on social media, right? And then you say, oh, well, while I'm up here, I'm going to go check out. Oh, yeah, I need to surf there. I need to find out about this thing I was going to look at. And then you get off into that. And then you got plans tomorrow to work out and everything. But then you get on Netflix and you get to watching that movie. And now, man, I'm a little bit hungry. So you forget all about not eating anything after 8 p.m. or maybe getting your 12-hour fast rolling, and you just go ahead and start snacking it late at night, right? And these habits provide you with some sort of reward and it just makes these habits stronger over time. Well, what are the rewards, right? Well, social media, you get in there, you get likes, you get to feeling good, you get to talk to people, you surf the internet. Well, you get all excited about the things you can find that you can buy, right? Everybody loves to buy. They don't like to pay for things, but we love to buy, right? Late night snacking, it just satisfies you, that chew, whatever it is. Oh, man. And so there's some type of reward there. And they just get stronger over time if you continue to do these things. So in essence, we are a bundle of habits, and there's some good ones and some bad ones, and it just depends on how we roll those cubes, right? We can leave them at bad. We need to be flipping those things over to good. So let's take a look at what we need to do here, because habits make life possible. Because people are like, well, I don't understand. Well, habits are good because there's only so much that our brains can deal with each and every day, right? And that's the purpose of these habits. Because imagine if you had to concentrate and be thoughtful about taking a bath, you had to think about getting dressed, you had to think about making your coffee, you had to think about starting your car, you had to choose a way that you're going to go to work this morning. Well, you'd be wore out by 8 a.m. trying to make all those decisions, right? But habits are automatic behaviors, and they lessen our cognitive load, and they save time. So by doing these things, you have time to think about other more important things that you need to do. Now, sometimes when we're driving our car, we may be thinking about too many different things and not concentrating on the road. But habits are there to basically loosen that cognitive load, so you've got time to do other processes. And so it's easy to see how certain positive habits can make your life amazing. but the negative habits could make it very challenging. So choosing and implementing effective habits can change your life in incredible ways. Now let's look at driving the car in a negative habit, right? Well, it's illegal in most states now, but now you're sitting here surfing the net, or you're sitting here doing your Facebook or Instagram while you're driving. Well, there you go. You got a negative habit mixed in there. That could just turn into a tragedy for not only you, but for the people around you. So choosing and implementing effective habits can change your life in incredible ways. And anytime we talk about changing your life, remember the compound effect, you can change your life negatively and positively. So there's a sway there. And so when you talk about incredible ways, it could be some negative incredible ways. But I love this quote by Aristotle. So we're really throwing back. We're getting all the good guys today. Aristotle said, excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Now, we've all heard that we are what we repeatedly do, and you know someone else is going to claim that quote, but I don't think any of them were older than Aristotle, but we are what we repeatedly do. And so one of the questions for you for this week is, what are your daily habits? Get in there, let's write these things down. Grab that action and habit tracker. Let's put down, what are your daily habits? And let's start analyzing those things, because that's going to help us as we go through in trying to figure out, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? So start writing down what are your daily habits and get that in your journal for this week, so we can kind of go through that. All right. Well, what does all this have to do with self-mastery, and why is self-mastery is important? Well, a couple of things. Self-mastery is a worthy goal. Many people believe that self-mastery is the ultimate achievement. And again, mastering others is strength, and mastering yourself is true power. But consider the challenges that you have in your life. The average person is likely overweight somehow, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. They don't have enough money, or they have unfulfilling relationships. So those are the big three that people deal with in their life. Their weight, they don't have enough money, or they don't have the relationships that they need in their life. But let's just take one of those, like losing weight. Everyone knows how to lose weight. I'm telling you, it is not a secret. If someone comes up to you and put a revolver to your head and said, if you don't tell me how to lose weight, I'm going to pull the trigger. It wouldn't be a no-brainer. You say, yeah, you eat less, you exercise more, you live a healthy lifestyle, blah 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 blah. So everybody knows how to. I mean, there's nothing you need that needs to be whispered in your ear by a guru. Right? You already know everything you need to know. Doggone, you got the free information out there all over the place. It can solve nearly any challenge you have. So you can find anything you need to know about losing weight via the library or the internet. Now, you probably already know it all, but you can go out there and you can find and get more edification, and you can get all the stuff that's out there, that's been out there for years and years and years, regurgitated, got some new words, got something else in there, but it's all the core basics. So knowledge isn't the problem. You've got the knowledge. Self-mastery is the problem. So you know what to do. It's just getting it done, and that's what we have to concentrate on. Look at this right here. I mean, it's just a perfect example of what the thing with the chocolate chip cookies in it. Oh my goodness gracious! If you could just get yourself to do the things that you know you should do, your life would be completely transformed. But most of us have little mastery over ourselves. And this has a multitude of repercussions. Like, again, poor results. You didn't stick to it. You procrastinated. You just didn't get the things you need to get done. You got feeling stuck. Oh my goodness, I can't get off dead center. I can't get past this part of my goal, or I can't get up to A to B from E strategy because I just can't get there. Poor self-esteem because of your choices. poor, which leads obviously to poor self-confidence. And now you're just slipping down that hill, right? You had started out great, now you're slipping and living life that's just a mere shadow of what it could be. And that's what we want to do. Every time I end something, I'll say we want to keep you moving in the direction of your dreams. And that is anti-poor results. That's anti-feeling stuck, anti-poor self-esteem, anti-poor self-confidence, and anti-living a life just a shadow of what it could be, because we want you to be the very best that you can be. And again, this started, I didn't put this on here just for no reason, but the little girl at the album, it started for many of you and for most of us at a very, very early age. We have been conditioned. In other words, our paradigms that we talked about on Monday, they were there and they've been forced upon us and implanted in our brains over all these years. And so a lot of habit formation or getting rid of old habits is being able to deprogram all that from yourself. So just know that a lot of this, you say, well, I don't understand. I'm in an awful way. Well, and it can't be fixed. Yeah, it can be fixed, and it's not your fault. A lot of it, you were just programmed that way. So let's just take 3 deeps, and we'll get to it, and we'll get you rolling, because we're going to go over some strategies and things to help you out. All right, well, let's take a look at self-mastery, because it may be life's greatest challenge, but it also provides life's greatest reward, and that's the ability to choose your destiny. And I love this graphic because you really do. You hold it all in your hand, the direction you need to go, the compass of life. It is right there in your hand. It's glowing. You can see it at night. You can see it during the day. And self-mastery is going to be the thing that is going to allow you to choose your destiny. It's going to help you get up that A to B strategy from thoughts, action, habits, character into your destiny. Because self-mastery is really only about one thing, and that's mastering your emotions. And we talked about, back when we talked about the roadmap to success. I don't know if you remember that or not. We go back, maybe redo that. But emotions is a huge part of getting yourself to take action. Because if your emotions are down, you're not going to take action. If your emotions are high, then you're going to take actions. Well, how do they get high? Well, they get high with a why. So that's why we spend so much time. A lot of folks are like, man, no, we're going over this life purpose stuff and my why, this, that, and that. Because that's the fuel. That's the fuel that's going to keep you going. You're going to run out of gas, and you're going to need more gas. And gas are your emotions. And to make the best decisions, regardless of your emotions, is what we need to do. So you've got to be able there, even when they're down, you got to have enough fuel to look at that why and get back on track. Look at that vision board. Again, we got to have an action board, but if we just got a vision board, we're not going to get anything done. But we got an action board, so we know what we need to do. But sometimes we don't do what we need to do. We got to flip back to that vision board and remind ourselves and get our emotions back so we can make decisions regardless of our current emotions. And when you choose and perform effective actions, you can create whatever habits you need in order to achieve your goals. And that is what we're here for during this four-part session. Is we want you to choose and perform effective actions. That way you create whatever habits you need, and then it'll allow you to achieve your goals. So let's look at this, and we're going to end up today because, again, you might be thinking easier said than done. Well, obviously, there's a lot of things, so perhaps, but even if it is easier said than done, it's possible. Because the most successful people in the world are proof of this. And that's why at A to B for me, we're always going back to the thought leaders. We're always going back to the core texts. We're going back to those life examples, those real life examples that you can look at, because we want you to know that you got this, right? Colin Powell, great quote we're going to end up with today. If you're going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in the little things. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude. And that is where the thought process comes in. Again, we got to get the thoughts right. We got to get that prevailing attitude right. We got to get those emotions right. And we got to be sure that we develop the good habits in the little things, and those are going to allow you to achieve excellence in the big things. Well, all right. Well, next time we're going to go over breaking bad habits and building good habits. We're also going to, get into some 7 strategies to create habits that serve your purpose. And then over the next couple of sessions, we're going to break down those 10 of the best habits to master yourself and your world. All right, well, I'm going to hop back in here and say goodbye to you. So thanks for hanging in with us. We went a little bit long today. I think about 30 minutes is probably where we're at today. So we're going to do the same thing probably on Friday. Then next Wednesday, about the same thing. So we'll knock out about 2 hours with the entire 4-part series and get you rolling in self-mastery. So until then, again, if you didn't go back and get the weekly challenge, go back and grab that. Go through this again if you need to. Reach out to me if you need any assistance, if you want some PDFs, if you need anything. And then check back in with us on Friday because we're going to go through part 2 of 4 on self-mastery. Well, all right. Until then, keep moving in the direction of your dreams, and we will talk to you